So my favorite thing about being Vice President Internal is the fact that I get to do a lot of behind-the-scenes work, which I know sounds weird because not everyone likes to do behind-the-scenes work, but I feel like people who do those types of things are kind of the unsung heroes of organizations because they do the tedious, logistical, organizational work that no one else wants to do, and I actually really like doing that. So that's why it's one of my favorite things. But my other favorite is that as VPI, I am responsible for all the interpersonal relationships on eBoard, and my leadership style. I like to push boundaries, and I like to make people think, and so I like challenging my other board members to do more than the Constitution says, or do more than what's on paper, and kind of think of new ways to make MAFA better. And I know we all do that, but I like that it's also part of my job description. My least favorite thing about being VPI is that I most of the time have to be the bearer of bad news when it comes to disagreements or things of that nature. I have to manage the relationships on board, so when something goes wrong or when we need to kind of hash things out, I'm the one who has to deal with all of that. But I would much rather do that than have animosity between anyone. So just like any family, we fight, we disagree, but we make up too. So I'm glad I get to be a part of that process, and I'm glad that we all care enough to fix those issues so we can give the best product to you guys. So yeah.
The best thing and the worst thing about my position, I would probably say the best thing is I get to interact with the regional organizations around the country, and the worst thing would probably I don't exactly get to interact with them personally. Usually it's through Google Hangout or Skype.
So probably one of the best things about my position as Secretary on MAFA Board is that I have a lot of freedom to do the things that I'm assigned to do according to our Constitution. For example, as Secretary, I make the newsletter every couple months, and as Secretary, I have a lot of freedom to choose what to write about, what articles to write about, who to contact for articles, things like that. So I have a lot of freedom in my position. But probably one of the least things I like about my position is that I do a lot of housekeeping stuff, and it's a lot of things that people, outside of MAFA Board don't normally see, like taking care of minutes or putting together these meeting summaries that I've been putting together. I don't really am seen visibly in the MAFA community. I do a lot of things behind the scenes, but I am still glad that I chose this position as Secretary for MAFA Board.
My favorite thing about being co-outreach is I have like two things, so I hope that's okay. One would be working with my co-outreach partner, Chris Jolligan. He is honestly one of the greatest people that I've met this year, and he's just so full of life and so energetic, and we work so well with each other, and he's honestly become one of my best friends, I feel like, this year. My other favorite thing about being co-outreach is interacting with all of the different student leaders from all over the Midwest, and just getting to know them and trying to help them out whenever they need it. So if they have any questions, being open and just being there for them. and just trying to help them out through their experiences, since we've all probably gone through them as well. So if anyone out there was a VP external or a social chair, or is trying to look and connect with other people from different schools, talk to Chris and I for co-outreach and connecting you guys to different people. But as for my least favorite thing about my position, maybe the fact that there are just so many awesome people out there, and it's really hard to just get to know every single one of them on a more personal level. So feel free to talk to me. I love talking to people.
So the best and worst part about being treasurer of MAFA Board. So I would say the best part about being on MAFA Board is that I was able to gain a lot of skills that I wouldn't have gained otherwise. Since I'm a nursing major, I don't know a lot about marketing, a lot about treasury, and a lot about treasury-related skills. So I was able to learn a lot about what it takes to be a treasurer, what the necessary skills are, such as learning how to make a budget plan, creating your own budget, managing taxes, learning about taxes, and just being able to divide funds up and learn how to allocate funds, especially for various organizations. So I was able to learn also a lot about 501c3 nonprofit status for the state of Illinois, and especially learning how to go through it on the national level. And I would also say that a lot of this is kind of the weakest part about being treasurer, just because since I'm not like an accountant, I don't have the necessary skills that would garner me to be a treasurer for the most part. But that's why I'm glad that I was able to be treasurer in the first place, because I'm learning a lot and I'm still currently learning a lot. So I would say that that is both my strength and my weakness of what being on MAFA Board.
So my favorite thing about my position is that I get to interact with the members via social media like Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. And I get to make all these neat videos and make little graphics and stuff to promote like FACT or whatever we're doing, any projects we're doing. And I guess my least favorite thing about my position is that no one knows that I'm the one doing it. People usually assume that it's like someone else on board.